Just answering questions with web tech. It's not a tumor. Anyway, I've been playing around with stuff again. Some of you know exactly what that is, what it'll become. And to the Logan running, this will work better than a socket. So, sock it to me. Port of Seattle officer Greg Anderson paid administrative leave and might have gotten $250,000 in GoFundMe for just doing the non-defiant, non-risky, non-brave thing of just saying some mimetic horse hockey for conservatives to view or whatever. This isn't any different than the extreme, leftists doing the same crap. You're not defying anything, and you're not being anything empowering. But if he brought up something valid and real, that'd been good. And what he did is he effectively, you can watch the video. It's not going to be disappearing. He told other police officers he thought that they should ignore orders and not do certain things because Constitution. Now, everyone's entitled to an opinion on this. I do not know the answers to anything, but I don't consider him a valid source for information. Also, he was a little bit too much like a fake cop who did the same goddamn thing that a bunch of conservatives bought into. The same conservatives that think Q's real. If you're not aware of it, a large number of conservatives do not think that Q has anything to do with the government. And if you want to, you can look into it and find out that Q is very likely one of three people, or maybe all three of those people, who started the rumor, at least currently. But anyway, I digress. Someone says, the difference between you and that guy is I'm in obedience mode and he has gone out of it. No, he's not. He's swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, but he also swore an oath to do what his job entails. I don't agree with you. That's all. As for you saying I'm in obedience mode, literally no one who's ever met me would say that about me. Normally, I'm the guy on the camera, although I'm going to be, using obscuring my identity. I currently do so. I also run 4 channels, and I, on all of them, spread out a bunch of data on how to use this for a right to make, keep, and bear self-defense arms kind of protest I'm doing. Not obedient. But you can say that all you want. That doesn't make other people anything you tell them they are. So, Jimmy, you're wrong. You are so deep into it that actually get upset when they tell you to disobey. No. I'm in a city where I don't have to obey any of these rules because they're simply not implemented. You're not being oppressed. You're being told to stay home and keep your distance from other people to prevent them and you from getting fucking sick. This is something people should have been doing the entire fucking time human beings have figured out how diseases work. And then there are people like you who show up and tell me all this shit right next to someone who is, you might even agree with, who says diseases don't exist, they're caused by little Lilliputians. I don't have to listen to this. Gravity! I don't have to actually listen to you and actually take you seriously. Don't matter if he's right or wrong. I get upset. No, I actually evaluate that, and I'm willing to acknowledge that I don't know if he's right or wrong. I don't know if this is the best way to do things. I don't think police officers should be able to violate real rules, real laws. So someone, it's the same idiot, says, the order was in conflict with the supreme law. Are you talking about your God's law? Or your misinterpretation and not reading the Constitution? Or we the people, bitch? I'm in a state where we have laws that we pass. It doesn't matter if you like them, you're going to fucking obey them. Because we the people make the laws in this state of Oregon. Not your representative shit government that's outdated. We don't do Pony Express anymore, bitch. So we don't need a representative government. We don't need the Electoral College anymore. Well, I'm going to say it. I think we need the Electoral College on national elections. I hate saying that. I don't like it. I don't like Trump winning because of it. At all. But I can't make a better system. See, I'm not a stereotypical libtard who's angry that we lost an election. Yes, we lost an election because we didn't get Bernie, because the Democrats wouldn't let us have Bernie. How many times now? Yes, we're going to lose the election and Trump will be president again because we are not allowed to vote for who we want. The Democratic Party doesn't let we the people decide. And neither does the Republican Party. No, they didn't. You got one of these. I'm presuming you're a Republican, I don't know. But the supreme law is one of your vague statements today. How about the supreme law of don't tread on me? The police officer in question, not the one in the image, the thumbnail is actually of another person who is a fake cop, didn't just break some stupid rules or whatever. He the population he's within, that he is supposed to be protecting and serving, is the supreme law. Cops are to protect and serve us. Us, not U.S., us. So I would disagree with you on a lot of what you posted here about the supreme law and how I'm reluctant to disobey. You haven't bothered paying attention, so I can forgive you that. But most people who post, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but the absolute fucking majority of people who post stuff like this are ignorant cocksuckers that I don't have to trust or deal with in any way and give any respect. But Jimmy, if you're watching, I can give you the benefit of the doubt. But that means I'm acknowledging I could be completely wrong about you. Are you able to choke it down and be a man and say, I don't know Waptech, I don't know what he thinks? Yeah, don't look up any of my videos on flare guns. Anti-personnel fucking hip cannon. Anyway, let's get on with it. How about you don't spray anyone without consent? Ever think of that? The big issue is the government using people as guinea pigs for any reason. Lisa Martino Taylor created a fake story as a what-if scenario about the St. Louis, Manhattan, Rochester consortium or association. It was a vague allusion to the Manhattan Project somehow doing some sort of open-air experiment on people by using radioactive paint. Because the company that made one of the components, or maybe more of them, was also the same company that made radium paint. And when it's pointed out very clearly that it's not radium, she ignores that. When it's pointed out that she's lying to everybody, they ignore it. When ignorant, stubborn cunts type this kind of shit, no, you're not being sprayed. They're not chemtrails. I'm one of many hundreds and hundreds of people. I really like this thing. It's fun to... This would hurt if it was coming out of a flare gun. Excuse me, flare gun. That was a mono quote. I'm one of many people who tested airplanes to see if they were putting off emissions by literally finding out where they were flying and helping people just fly behind them and see what was coming out of the engines. That's the best way to test it. Some of this was done by the Air Force. They're trying to keep from having contrails. I help people figure out what's coming out just in case it would be bad for the air, maybe low and high temperatures. So we tested during summer and winter in Eastern Oregon. Lots of places did these experiments behind all sorts of airplanes. Jet engines for commercial travel were done as well. I helped a little bit, but I know for a fact that they don't put off chemtrails because the shit you guys won't learn about, I did. That's literally all there is to it. There isn't really any, take that kind of ending to it. It really is that basic. I learned about the stuff and you didn't. The majority of what comes out of a jet engine is carbon dioxide and water vapor because that's what the chemical reaction does. There are some other trace materials. You could decide that they're bad, but you won't look them up. You won't look up what the fuck they are. You won't read anything. You won't learn anything. You have access to the internet. This is something I got to say about this, and this may be the title of the video because, fuck all the shit you guys are typing here. It's not really relevant. I mean, it's not relevant at all. It's not relevant element. I have no idea what I'm saying. But let's just get on with it. In order to keep believing what you want to believe, in spite of just people having different opinions, which means you'd have to acknowledge that not everybody in the world agrees with you, so you are always a minority opinion. A lot of people play the victim, but they don't want to play minority opinion. In order for you to keep believing what you believe, a lot of you have such a weak countenance, I think is the word, countenance, of sticking to what you really believe, because apparently you don't really believe it, that knowing that somebody doesn't agree with you actually disrupts your ability to believe, which is okay. I mean, that's something you might want to acknowledge and move on with and maybe deal with. But to go out of your way to ignore all of those facts so you don't ever have to think, you literally have access to the library computer from Star Trek. You have the access to, deep thought out of some book. We have access to all of the truths and lies in the world. And instead of just deciding you're only going to believe what you want to believe, you could learn what every single belief is as best you can within whatever you're looking up. You could look up why they believe what they do, instead of trying to look up a list of arguments and petty bullshit drive-by comments like, it's a supreme law. What the fuck are you talking about? You're talking about the law of our country, the Constitution? How about the Supreme Court altering it? How about the Supreme Court giving you the right to keep and bear arms individually? Only in 2008. That's when it was decided. It wasn't decided by the Founding Fathers at all. It was traditionally considered to only be for the militia. It was never considered by the legal system to be an individual right to keep and bear arms, which I find highly offensive. And everybody else did. And in 2008, they decided, Supreme Court, to reinterpret the Constitution and give you rights you thought you had already. But your belief system will prevent you from learning that. I mean, you can be against or for gun control, but acknowledging that the Supreme Court in the modern era made a decision that an individual in the United States has the right to keep and bear arms. Knowing that happened must drive you fucking insane. If you're in favor of gun control, you realize that it's been codified in the law. It's not a discussion anymore. End of fucking conversation. So you got to weasel out of that? Like the Giffords Law Center? Or you're a person who believes it's a God-given right. No, it wasn't your God-given right. Go to some other fucking foreign country. You don't have any fucking rights. You're born without any rights. You're enslaved. This country is not as bad as other countries. Get over it. It's one of the better countries on the planet in some ways. But you got that right handed to you, whether you like it being there or you don't. Lying about the origin of it is what both sides do. And you have to work so fucking hard to shun knowledge. Your virgin eyeballs. I mean, shit. It's not your virgin ears anymore. Most of us don't listen to anybody tell us anything unless you want to. Well, you can watch these videos. We read shit. The world is getting better, Literacy is very high now because everyone can type LOL, but they also know it means laugh out loud in English. And they've learned more than one language, a lot of them. Some of you choose to stay as dumb as fucking dirt. And then you show up here and apparently I offend you because I'm not allowing that to be easy. It's not that I'm smarter than you or better or anything like that. It's that I'm making it harder for you to stay ignorant. Jimmy, you're becoming less ignorant. So am I. We can work together. And as for the other one, laser sharp, you're an idiot. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.